We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
There we go. It must be time. Time now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Today I have a new plugin review, some news tips, plugin extras, and more, all coming up on Plugin Pulse, WP Plugins A to Z Unplugged. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A to Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you have to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall. This is a 5K fueled homemade chicken soup and crackers kind of day. All right, so what am I doing today? Well, I'm talking about popular ideas in WordPress today, along with new plugin reviews, some news tips, plugin extras, and more. Where will we start? Starting on this stuff is always kind of a challenge, especially when I'm out here all by myself, hanging in the wind. Amber's not with me this week. She should be back. She'll be back next week as usual, the every other week show with her. But today it's by myself. But at any rate, I've got some miscellaneous things to talk about. For those listening to downloads, I'll try to make sure I give you really good descriptions on everything as best I can. But if you want to see it all, you're going to want to pop on over and visit at the YouTube channel and check it out. Besides, come check it out live. It's lonely here today. All right. What have I got to talk about first off? I want to talk a little bit about a discussion that started over on X. It was created by Ryan at Pine Digital, or Influence WP, and he's been doing an amazing job over the last year and a bit of actually influencing WordPress with the subjects he talks about, the things he's encouraged and influenced people to do. So my goal here is to maybe amplify his voice up a little bit and talk a bit about it. Now, the discussion initially started, and he went more in depth into it into his weekly newsletter he sends out from Influence WP. So if you're not registered there, go check it out. But he was talking about pages, and that's always been a minor irritant to me in companies or plugins when I'm wanting to check out, especially premium plugins. They should be talking about who's behind this plugin, who's creating it. And he started a discussion here of going through to check out some plugins a vendor wanted. And they had 6 plugins, and out of the 6 plugins, which each had their own individual website, which is perfectly fine, he only initially found one about page and nothing about who was behind the plugin. And this is an important key aspect. If you want to build trust with your plugins and encourage people to spend whatever amount monthly, annually, or however you're charging them, they need to have some initial trust in what your offering is. And that initial trust is built with your website, especially if they found you through a search, or they found you because, they tried out the free plugin at WordPress.org, which they assume is good. Most of them are. And then they want to go to your next level of the plugin, but yet they can't find out anything about the plugin itself or the plugin authors, the creators, who you are. Why should I trust you? Why should I trust you with my money and my website? Because that's truthfully what they're doing. They're trusting you with money and the website because they're paying you and they're putting their plugin on their website, and they're trusting that you're not going to backdoor them. And if you don't understand that has happened in the past where plugins have been created, so-called premium plugins, or the null plugins are the most critical on this one, where they'll stick a backdoor in there and they'll backdoor their way right into a website because a person trusted their way in. So you need to build that trust. So you got to create those about pages. So the other minor bitch that I have is, and this is something that they're working on, that Ryan is working on also, and that is the change log for premium plugins. Now, there's always a good change log for the free plugins over at WordPress.org, but the premium plugins, I still have a couple of free premium plugins I use where I forget where they're hiding their change log. It can be found, but it's not easily found on their website. They don't have a nice simple link from the plugin itself directly to the change log. And that I believe they should do, because it's easy enough to add additional links in the plugin description. You can put several different types of links in there. I know, I've done it with mine. So changelog WP, Ryan encouraged this and started this. He's working with, I think he's working with Dave, the Friendly Web Guy, but don't quote me on that one, but that one seems right. At any rate, changelog WP, which is a resource that you can go over and check out for changelogs, for all kinds of changelogs. Now, they're currently pulling all the changelogs from WordPress.org, and you can see from the model up here on the screen that they're showcasing 54,000 free plugins for changelogs. The free paid upgrade available changelogs, they got 600. Community plugins, they got 193. Premium paid plugins, they've got 10. And then canonical plugins, they've got 1. And then they've got them broken down even further for what version of WordPress they're tested up to. So you can go search in for a name or a term or anything else you want for it. If you find your favorite changelogs there, they have a way to subscribe to them, but I haven't experimented through it. But this is a fantastic step in the right direction. So kudos to Ryan over at Influence WP for getting this up and moving forward, because this is going to be a big change in WordPress. It may take another 6 months or a year before it settles in and works. As Ryan's discovered, is it can take a more than a year before the community starts to accept and move you forward. But that comes along with, like we were talking about before in the About page, building trust and getting people to trust and believe who you are and why you're doing it. So this is some really good stuff to help get things moving forward in the right direction. And I'm really glad to see these sorts of things happening and changing in the world. So at any rate, we need to try to figure out here. That's what I'm missing here. What am I missing? Oh, no. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Huh. Looks like I need to create an additional screen here. All right, that screen's not going to work. All right, one more time. There we go. All right, well, we'll pop back to this screen here. I need to get a screen where I have the browser and me at the same time. The hardest part about doing this by myself is being able to take those breaths and moments to be able to drink my coffee. All right, let's go move along and talk a little bit about, I've got a little bit of news, not a lot this week. It's been a fairly quiet week in the WordPress realm. Not a whole ton of news has been happening or occurring. So on the whole, this may be a bit shorter show than usual for me, but we'll still get a show out. All right, news this week. What have I got? First news tidbit here is from the repository, Inside Fair's approach to security, a new model for WordPress package safety. And this is a model for dealing with the package safety of WordPress itself. And they're explaining ways that you'll be able to discover a plugin, get it from a repo, ensure that it is a secured plugin, that it's not been modified, changed, or in other words, comes with a backdoor. So it's a very good article. You'll want to go check this one out. Other than that, we've got a couple of other quick ones here. WordPress is announcing a WordPress Abilities API. Not sure what that API is going to be doing myself, but for those that are always digging into the WordPress APIs and using them, you might want to go read this article and check it out. Next article I've got up here is WooCommerce is launching Reddit integration, expanding a push into social commerce channels. So what this is doing is giving store owners a direct way to reach shoppers in Reddit. And this is a way to help push your products into Reddit and see if it can help you with your advertising at Reddit or other areas along that line. Go check this article out if you're running a WooCommerce store and you're managing to get some traffic out of Reddit. Go check this out. This may come as a very useful tool for you to expand out your store. And finally, a little bit here in the WordPress drama of the lawsuits between WP Engine and Automatic. And WP Engine is moving to dismiss Automatic's counterclaims, arguing they were filed too late. Okay, you gotta love the law. File on time, file too late. File this way, file that way. Yeah, you missed a comma here in paragraph 400 of subparagraph 387 of subparagraph 492. And so it's not allowed. What? That's pretty much how the law seems to work in that insanity. And there we go. We forgot to turn those off again as usual. Okay, let's turn that off again. There we go. Stop pinging. That's enough. Yes, that's my email, folks. Sooner or later, I will have that into my work queue of setting up for the show. For those of you listening, that was not your email. That was mine. All right. So, yes, back to Automatic and the lawsuit. So they're trying to get their counterclaims dismissed, and well, who knows? This is going to wrangle on for a couple more years of things, and we will see what comes of it. Now, for those of you that want to keep up with the news, go check out this webpage here at feedland.org. It gets you the latest and greatest in WordPress news that's coming through the feeds and showing what is up. So the latest news, Black Friday sale, creating a better user experience for Jetpack, and the 10 best WordPress donation plugins. These are the most recent news pieces to come through. So go check those out. Now, if you run a website that takes donations, this might be a good one to go review, because it's always good to have some good donation plugins. GiveWP, Charitable, Paymatic. So these are some third-party services. WP crowdfunding, Fund Engine. Yep, they're all third-party services. So good on them all. All right. So that's all I have there. So let's see where we're going to go. We're going to go dive into a plugin here. Give me half a second here. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. There we go. All right. We're back. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to dive into a plugin here. And this plugin we're going to go into is Disable XML RPC API. This is a very simple plugin, and it is a very useful security increase to your site, and surprisingly, it drops a whole lot of unnecessary traffic and improves the speed of your site. Well, not overly surprisingly, considering the amount of bots out there in the world today. So what you're looking to do here is to stop this from occurring and remove the XML RPC API key. Most people are not using it. The vast majority of people, if you're using it, well, it's kind of hard to turn it off, but you can allow through certain stuff. So we're going to go throw this into my experimental website where pretty much everything under the sun goes. And as usual, you just go through the back end of WordPress, do a search for Disable XML RPC API, and it pops up with the one plugin here. If you just put Disable XML, there's a whole bunch of them to choose from. We'll bring those up just for people to see. You know, you got several different ones: Disable XML RPC, XML Pingback, RPC Fully. You know, I've tested a couple of these, but the one I found most useful is the one from Amin Nazimi. And this one here is the one we were just looking at over here. It's a very nice one. Cool thing is they got a nice red stop sign, which helps you identify the plugin a whole lot easier. And as usual, just go through, do the quick install on it through the back end of WordPress. Once it's installed, activate it. Give it a second to complete the activation. Then you've got to go find it down here at the very bottom of your list. And then you go to the settings for it. Oh, he's got an error in there. That's weird. Okay. Guess I should let him know. I have debugging all turned on this site, so every time something goes wrong, it goes wrong, but it's been working perfectly on all my other sites, so I'll have to let him know on this one. Nothing like finding problems live. At any rate, what you should normally see is just the two switches here. Have it turned off for Jetpack unless you use it. The master switch, you turn it off. If you turn it on, it opens up a second level of things that you can then allow through. So leave it turned off, and it turns off the XML RPC fully, and then you can hit save on it. The extra security in here, yeah, we've got some depreciation of content property. I'll have to go take a look at it. When was the last time this was updated? 7 months ago. Oh, okay. So could also be because I'm running PHP 8.3 on this website. So it may not be up to PHP 8.3 standards yet. So I will let the developer know that I found this issues and find them all out. Now, the cool thing gets an extra security. It gives you the ability to turn off the JSON REST API, the disable writing in the htaccess file, the hide your WordPress version, and the disable built-in WordPress file editor. Now, this one here, you should absolutely do. Disable the built-in WordPress file editor and hide your WordPress version. The writing the htaccess file, that's a big maybe, because you may have plugins or something that do write that file for you. Up to you. The JSON REST API, that's another one there. It turns off the JSON version of the REST API. So that one there, if you're using that, those ones too are maybes. The WML, the WordPress, the Windows Live Writer manifest, that one should be turned off too, because chances are you're not using that one. So hit save on that. Then you can go to the speed up WordPress site. The heartbeat slowdowns automatically there. This slows down the number of times the WordPress heartbeat pings. So helps reserve resources. The hot link fix, this adds a thing to prevent people from hot linking to your images from your website, which can save you a ton of bandwidth. If you turn that on, that means that the people who have been hot linking to your images, in other words, they go directly to the URL of your images, they are stealing your bandwidth to serve your images on their website, is basically what's happening. So if you want to turn off that hot linking, it can be very useful to help preserve some bandwidth on your site and to remove the built-in emojis. And this one here, be careful if you do this, to remove the RSS and the RSD. If you do anything that depends on the RSS feed, like if you want people to access your RSS feed for your articles, or maybe you have a podcast or whatever, you remove the RSS feed, nobody will be able to see that stuff. They have to come to your website for everything. That one there, I never would turn on. Disable the OEmbed. This is the OEmbed media in your website. This is to, I'm trying to remember the OEmbed part. Can't recall it. But anyway, this is another one that's a big maybe, whether or not you use OEmbed for embedding media into your website. So think about that one, and that's all you really do. Now, I've seen this, especially when I've had a couple of websites recently that I've added this plugin to, and they were getting pinged on the XML RPC file in a major way by bots. As soon as I turned this off, it all went away. And the website started performing way better. So this is a plugin that will help you increase the speed of your website. Ignore the depreciated errors that you see here on my rundown on it. You'll never see those errors unless you have debugging turned on your website. And if it's a live site, you don't want debugging turned on, because then some user using your website will see all the depreciated errors too. Because the depreciated errors and the warnings, they don't really impact the way the site is running. They just tell you that the code needs to be updated and fixed, for the most part. Now, occasionally these depreciated errors can be used for hacks, but for the most part, not really. So anyway, with that being done, go check that out. And I just went through that whole thing there, and nobody saw a thing because I was looking at myself on the screen without realizing it. The problem of trying to do all these things, eventually I start to see everything. It's when I got 4 monitors, all this stuff on different monitors. So we'll double back and just give you a quick rundown on the settings here. Yeah, you can see all the errors in there now. The security, the general settings. So at any rate, go check all of that out. I don't have too much else. This is not a show that has a ton or a really intense week of miscellaneous things. It's been a slow week in and around WordPress. I've been working steadily on client projects, etc., and keeping everything under wraps. So I got somebody wandering around over there. All right. Let's go. Oh, I do have a couple of wildcard things in here. I want to pop out a couple of people here to make mention of that you should follow on Twitter. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the lesser known voices on Twitter and get them a little bit of attention. Here's one here for Sean Dedulus. At any rate, he's a software assembly engineer. Occasionally he's popped out something about WordPress, but he's an AI Linux manager and a rancher. But I follow most of his stuff for the ranching stuff and miscellaneous other things there. So go check him out. He's got some really great stuff you might want to check out and look at. And then we've got Adam Warner from at WP Modder, and he's a WordPress GoDaddy Pro enthusiast, and he puts out some really great content also. So go check out those two. Go give them some love. They've got tons of followers, but for some reason I thought they were quieter voices. They're even more popular than me. So at any rate, I found their content great. Go check them out. I need to hunt down the ones that have less than 1,000 followers and spread the word about those. That's what I will work on. I will make sure if they've got over 5,000 followers, I will add them to the list, but we won't showcase them out. Other than that, we really don't have a whole lot this week. It's just another quiet week in the world of WordPress, but don't worry. We're coming up on the Christmas season. Everyone's going to get bored soon enough, and WordPress drama is about to happen. It always does, right around the Christmas season time. Plus, we've got, I believe, the next version 6.7 of WordPress is being released mid-December. I don't know. Let me go take a look at that. That's something to go look up here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's supposed to be released this week. Did it get released? Did I miss it? No, I don't think I missed it. No. Oh, it says it was released. How did I miss it? That seems weird to me. I think I would have noticed. I usually notice when WordPress is released. Let's take a look at this. Oh, sorry. 6.8. Oh, what is it? I've got my numbers wrong. 6.9. 6.9. There we go. 6.9. There we go. Me and my backwards brain. Hey Blake, how's it going? Thank you, Blake. Yeah, I just realized that now that I look over at your comments there. For me, for some reason my brain was stuck on 6.7. So we'll see. At any rate. So we're looking at 6.9. 6.9 is December 2nd. That should add loads of fun to the Christmas season. I don't know why WordPress wants to always make a major release right during the Christmas holidays, right in the middle of the Christmas shopping season. For those of you listening, whatever you do, don't do the update. Wait until after the Christmas shopping season, then do the update. It's like doing a major update to your WooCommerce store during the Christmas shopping season. It's like, no. Can't remember, it was a few years ago, but they did a major WordPress release that broke all kinds of stuff right during the Christmas shopping season. Lasted for about 2 days. It was a major thing. So, all right, expect that next week. We have WordPress drama coming. All right, that's really all I've got, folks. I'm going to call this a show. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. It was a shorter one today, only a half an hour long, but hey, something better than nothing. A little bit of music, carry us on out.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty, folks, that's all I got. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously, we just lost the satellite feed. That sucks.